Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Part of the Pride Pod and Aston Villa Women podcast. We have an international special this week, and to top it all off, it's Halloween, so we do have leftover sweets to keep us going. But of course, I can never do this by myself. I've got three lovely people joining me this evening. Sophie, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I've just heard the doo-doo, and I think we've got Tracy. Hang on, let's bring her in.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for joining. We were like, oh, we don't know if Tracy's going to come, but hey.
I'm sorry about the light in the background.
That's okay.
You don't know how much it's taken to get myself organised into a position in this very small room that I'm in. But yeah, I'm going to have to do, I'm afraid.
You look very angelic. It's all good. Emily, how are you tonight?
Good. I just about managed to get here, but yes, excellent.
I was going to say, we all kind of said we don't know where the last half an hour went. So yeah, apologies for being a couple of minutes late. But we're here and we're going to talk all about it. And Emma, how are you?
I am great. Thanks. Not an unexpected turn, but I'm actually all right.
So sarcastic. What was that?
I am great.
I'm great. But it's okay. We've also said who knows what's going to happen with your internet tonight. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's just all fun and games when it comes to it. So yeah, we will be munching on Halloween sweets. Well, I will be anyway. Look how tiny these packets are. They've got like 3 sweets in them. What has happened to the state of this country? Shocking, exactly, Tracy. Absolutely shocking. Now, format for this evening, then, what I thought we could go through. Couple of bits of latest news from the world of women's football. Have a little look at the international break, kind of who did what. Did we have minutes, goals, assists, strange positions, and commentary corner, of course, with our lovely Emma, and then predictions for the weekend as well, if that sounds good to everyone. So, did we all see yesterday there's been a new broadcasting deal announced with the WSL and the BBC? Anyone got any initial thoughts so far? Is it a good thing?
BBC Sports video announcing it with some interesting clips they used for that.
Yeah, tell us about that, because that was a choice, wasn't it?
It was certainly a choice. I think my favorite, there's the iconic Sam Kerr backflip flip, which I feel like is pretty WSL heritage at this point. And there was also the Kate McCabe bonking Chloe Kelly on the head with the ball, which is funny, but maybe not the best showcase for women's football.
Come and watch women's football. They beat by hitting each other in the head on the ball. Yeah, I don't know what went through their head to say.
And there was Tooney getting a red card, which I also thought was an interesting choice of clip in there as well. Like,
surely, like a worldie of a goal. Like, instead of that Kate McCabe on her head, like Kate McCabe getting it straight in, doing a proper like, surely.
And there was the Sam Kerr Mary Earps at Kings Meadow last season. Not last season, the season before. Or was it last season? All the seasons have merged.
I remember every one of your stats is from 2 years ago, so probably
probably 2 years ago.
Okay, so the moments were a bit odd, weren't they? Now, for anyone who didn't see it, I do have it up. Bear with. So the WSL agrees a record 65 million domestic 5-year TV deal with Sky Sports and the BBC. So almost all top flight games will be broadcast from next year, 2025. And Sky essentially are coming off the big winners here. So altogether, including broadcast costs and production costs, it's going to be over £100 million, a massive investment. Now, Sky Sports are understood to be contributing the vast majority of the investment, and in return, have been given up to 118 live WSL matches per season, 78 of which will be exclusive to Sky. And they will also have 75% of the first choice picks. Emma, because I know we were talking a bit about this last night, weren't we? What problems does that face for people who, well, for accessibility?
Well, it just makes it more inaccessible, really. I'm really lucky because with our TV package, so they'll probably only put one game on there, but at least I'll get to see one, I guess. It's just like stupidly. I think I paid £30 for 7 channels, and I was like, I just keep paying this to watch one game.
Yeah,
it's just not. So it's making it more inaccessible, really, for watch the games.
Yeah, because it hasn't been kind of specified the time of the matches as well. So with more being on TV, is that going to affect especially away travel as well? Because we've all been subject to Friday night King's Meadow when you're trying to travel there and back. But yeah, whether it's going to be late on Sunday. I was reading something today where they said it was going to be maybe 2:30 on a Sunday. That was maybe going to be, no, that was BBC. Sky's probably going to be about 12:30 on a Sunday. So I think they're still trying for a Sunday to keep it there. So yeah, hopefully the times won't too much. But yeah, in terms of the BBC, they've committed to showing up to 21 matches per season live, 14 of which will be exclusive to BBC television, and the remaining 7 will be shared. Anything not selected for live broadcast will still be shown live, but on YouTube. So theoretically, everything should be shown live. Theoretically. So yeah, Tracy, what do you think about this new deal?
Before I say anything about that, can I just say, when you started this conversation and you were giving out all those stats, I felt like Sophie should have been doing that, because she is stats queen. So,
but they weren't random stats.
That's true. No, I think it's great. I mean, anything that's going to make football more accessible to people is a plus, isn't it? I mean, like I put in the group, I posted a post, didn't I, about it, and basically said, this is amazing, this is fantastic, because it gets football out there and it gets it to, people that can't make it to matches. But just because it's on TV now, we still need bums on seats, because we need those attendance numbers to go up. And so there's pluses and there's negatives, isn't there? But, let's just hope that it doesn't affect the numbers of people who attend matches. And it has the opposite effect, that people watch it on TV and it's like, oh, let's go and watch a match. And let's hope it works out that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Because maybe more for the more casual fan, possibly, they might not want to travel to a certain stadium or just the distance because they're unsure of what it is. But as soon as they see how good it is, then maybe actually, I want to go see it in person. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. So again, without the specifics, it does all sound really good. A couple of people have said, well, it's a 5-year deal. Is that not a bit too long, considering there'll be another Euros, be another World Cup in that time? Are, the players, the clubs being a bit shortchanged there? But on the other hand, it's long term and you can plan better for long term, can't you? Go on.
I really like the current, Sky's current production of the WSL. They give you a lot of information. During the game, there's little stats that pop up about players that are on screen, so it gives you more information. About
you like the stats?
I love the stats. Actually, I will say that is not my point. My girlfriend loves the stats as well, and is I love Sky for the fact that there are the stats and the information. And also, Izzy Christiansen does the Sky Sports punditry, and I think she's one of the best pundits going.
Oh, phenomenal. Yeah.
The drawback to that is every game that Sky shows going to get the same care that the current one game a week gets?
That's a good point. Yeah, will they be able to replicate that production across however many they're going to show? Yeah, that's a good point. That's very good.
Also, I will be happy if more games move away from 2 p.m. on a Sunday. That's my biggest bugbear with 2 p.m. on a Sunday is that every women's football league plays at 2 p.m. on a Sunday from the very bottom all the way up to the very top. So if you want to watch, you can't play, and if you want to play, you can't watch.
Yeah, it's really hard, isn't it? Because you'd think surely the people who play are also fans of the game, and they want to be able to go. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't see them changing it, but you'd think it would be of higher importance to kind of get more people involved, especially or a good mix of days and things like that. Absolutely. Oh, Gary's in the chat. Good evening to Gary. He says, great investment in women's football, but if Sky take the majority of games, they're potentially taking it away from people too, as YouTube and the BBC is free and fully accessible. Yeah, absolutely. Because like Emma said, if you've got a Sky package and you've got Sky Showcase, there we go. I haven't been drinking, I promise. Then that's in with it and you don't have to pay for the extra package, but the majority of it's probably going to be on that paid package, isn't it? Which is really expensive.
I wouldn't mind there being just a women's football package though, because I don't care much about other sports. I literally use my Sky Sports for the one WSL game a week. Like, because occasionally the German league, Bundesliga.
Yeah, they put some of the Bundesliga matches on, don't they? Yeah, because I've got the football package, just the football. And again, I watch maybe some of the men's when I remember. But yeah, predominantly it's the women's. So yeah, if they do revolutionize it and go, actually, let's do a women's football package, or maybe a women's football channel, and then it could just be access to that one channel. That could be quite a good show. So if anyone from Sky is watching and listening, there you go. Brand new idea.
My only other thing with Sky, though, at the minute, and if someone knows the answer to this and can help me with this, when a game is finished at the minute, it goes to YouTube, but there's no way to watch any of the punditry back.
Ah, that's a good point. Yeah,
and I love the punditry. Like I feel like it adds so much more information to the game.
No, it does. Yeah,
and if you're fairly new, having that information is useful.
Yeah, good, because when it's good, when it is Izzy Christiansen, like they're picking out bits that you maybe won't know unless you really know the game. So maybe you can write to them, Sophie, and say, excuse me, I need more of your punditry. Please put it on the highlights. Good.
Was there a part, I didn't fully read the article, but was there a part in it about it having the potential to include like League Cup matches and also Women's Championship?
There is. Thank you so much for that segue. So essentially it says, hang on, scrolling. I want to get a word for word. So because Sky have got the rights, they will have. Oh, watch me not be able to find it now. Yeah, there we go. It's also understood there will be a large increase in the number of women's championship matches that will be broadcast live on YouTube. From next season. Although the BBC will not be showing championship games, because apparently they don't seem worth it, Sky do have the option to broadcast championship matches live if they choose to do so. It did also say about cup games at some point, but I think the cup games are probably going to stay on YouTube. But yeah,
it'd be good to have more championship games
because currently watch the championship.
Yeah, I know the first few weeks of the championship this season, they played them. Or was it last season? All my seasons are blurring.
Was it?
No, it must have been last season because we were in. Sorry, I was away on holiday with my partner's family at the time, so it must have been 2 seasons ago. They showed like the first few weeks of the championship, all the games, and then once the WSL started up, there was just one championship game, and they've kept the one championship game.
Yeah, it baffles me that, especially when there's no WSL on, when there's breaks and things like that, and even when the championship starts earlier, like you were saying, why they don't have at least 2. Like when there's nothing else going on, why can't you just do it? Because all the grounds are recording it. So why can't it be live?
It's available the next day or Monday.
Yeah, exactly. So it can be done. Might just not be without any commentary or anything like that, but it's okay. You're getting to see it. Because I know people have said before it's something to do with. Oh, that's annoying. It's completely gone out of my head. But yeah, it's really frustrating that more isn't accessible, more isn't available. But yeah, from these preliminary reports, it seems like they're saying all the right things. So fingers crossed that it comes good. Because apparently one of the first things the WPLL and Nikki Doucette said, this was agreeing the next cycle was the priority. And she said they're very fortunate to have 2 premium broadcast partners in Sky and the BBC who believe in the future and value of women's football as much as we do. So yeah. Also another good point. The players will now have the rights to post clips of their own performances onto their own social media pages. So now, legally, without copyright, they can do that, which I didn't realize they couldn't. Really, because you just think, well, that's me. Why can't I post that one? But that's included in the deal now, which is really good too. Right then, any final thoughts on the broadcast deal? Before we go? No. Thank you. I don't miss anyone out. Don't miss anyone out. Right. There was one more thing that just to put by everyone. Me and Paul last night were having a little chat, and we said, wouldn't it be great if before every match at Villa Park they played Crazy Train and everyone in the stadium shouted all aboard, and then the teams walked out, and then the riff kicks in and can you imagine that if 2,500 people just shouted all aboard? Do you think that's a good idea? Do you think it'll ever happen? Should we start a petition?
It's a good idea. Will it ever happen?
Why don't we just start it and just see if anyone
joins it?
See if anyone joins it. Yeah. We also proposed that Rachel Daly did it and just kind of stood with a big microphone and just shouted all aboard. But then we were thinking, Tracy, we could do it for away travel before we get on the bus.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I like that idea. Yeah. All aboard. Ring a bell as well.
Yeah. Just proper go for it, and that kind of be like the anthem, because we said when they played it at Bescott they won, didn't they, for the cup game? So maybe to kind of get that feeling back and go for it. But we will be talking about Villa Park later on. Now then, should we talk some international? Now, shall we start with the under-23s? They did very, very well. Now, we had Missy Bull-Kearns, Katie Robinson and Freya Gregory, of course, all for the under-23s. And they all started against the Netherlands, which is fantastic, all getting minutes. And Freya was in an unused sub for the Portugal game. Did anyone manage to see any highlights or anything? And it wasn't that easy. I think the only thing was match reports.
I think I saw one clip of the free kick in the second match. Oh, that was literally it.
It's so frustrating, isn't it? Because we want to know more. These are the future of the Lionesses coming through. I also wanted to ask as well, how frustrating was it that their game against Portugal was on the same night as the Lionesses on Tuesday, and you couldn't even try and get there because it was a 5:30 and a 7:15, was it? 7:30 kickoff. So yeah, Emily, what kind of message does that send?
Well, especially because the social media channels were sort of pushing it and being like, "Oh, buy tickets to go and watch the under-23s and stuff," and it's like, great, I would, but I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch the senior team play, and Yeah. I realise the international window is only a set amount of time. But scheduling wise, you could, just have it have it a midday kickoff or something. Yeah.
And have it on Monday night.
Yeah.
And have the earlier game a day earlier. It just doesn't, because a lot of us were saying, we would have tried to go to both because we want to support the under-23s, we want to support the seniors. And the majority of people who would go to the under-23s would have also gone to the seniors, as we saw on Tuesday.
I'm trying not to be sounding like a feminist here, but if it was the men playing and it was the under 23 men that were playing, would it have been scheduled at the same time?
No,
absolutely not.
No, exactly. No, it was probably an afterthought because I thought it was a misprint at first. Because I was writing something, and I was like, "Oh, when they play on Tuesday," and I was like, "No, they can't be playing on Tuesday. The seniors are playing." And then double checked it. I was like, "Oh no!" Like, how have they managed that? So, do we think that's more of an FA oversight then, trying to cram everything in a window, or I don't know, Sophie? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it is an oversight, and them trying to get. It's a very short window. I'm not a huge fan of the international windows anyway, the way they are at the minute. But it's a very short window and there's a lot of games happening. But it does feel like why I'm sure they've had one on a Monday before, the under 23, because I think I was supposed to go to it and then couldn't, and that was really sad. But yeah, like it is like you want to go see the under 23s and you want to go see the seniors. Like
it's almost like they thought that people just assumed that people wouldn't want to go to the unders matches. But then that's why I don't understand why the social media channels were pushing, like advertising it.
You can still buy your tickets, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Unless they realise that actually not that many people have bought tickets for Coventry. And we're like, oh, actually, if they're in the area, let's try and push them that way. Because I will say it was a record-breaking crowd for the unders on Tuesday night. 2,953 was record-breaking for them, which is phenomenal. And you were saying, Emily, as well, weren't you? It was about 20,000?
Oh, yeah, it was 20,400
Yeah.
what they gave out at the stadium.
Wow. That's not reported anywhere, by the way. That's why I was like, anyone who was there, did they actually announce the attendance? Because that's shocking.
They did announce it.
Yeah, but not in any reports, not in anything. It wasn't given out anywhere. But
seems to be very little reporting on numbers this year.
I did we see the Tom Gary one that said for the Wembley match there was only 2,000 more people, so it was like 47,000 maybe than was there 10 years ago in 2014 for the Germany game.
Yeah,
when it was 45,000, and you're like, but it's hard, isn't it? Because especially if you live in further away, people might think, oh well, it's Wembley, it's easier to get to, and blah blah blah. It's expensive.
But also, as well, like it was a Friday, it wasn't half term, so I'm guessing that the USA match on the 30th of November, because it's a Saturday, that's going to be a massive crowd, I would have thought. And the fact that it's USA as well, and we all want to see England beat Emma Hayes' team.
That was going to be my comment.
I was going to say that was going to be yours as well.
But because I was on placement and didn't finish till 20. No way I'm getting down to Wembley on Friday afternoon when the kids have just broke up for half term. Not happening.
Yeah, and again, it's almost as if we all know the love of Friday night under the lights, but think about the people who are outside London.
Yeah,
we can't just hop on the underground and get to it. Because that's why we kind of asked Georgia Stanway in a press conference, like, why, is it important that the FA still keep putting games in different stadiums? It's not always Wembley. It's just like, yeah, of course it is, because we need to make it more accessible. And Wembley just isn't really for the majority, is it? But yes.
How about having it right in the centre of the UK at Villa Park? That would be awesome.
I was going to say, only that was amazing.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
It baffles me that they chose Coventry over Villa Park.
I know.
They haven't had a game at Villa Park yet, have they, the Lionesses?
I don't think so.
Should.
No.
I'd like them to come up to Manchester or Leeds, or I know they're doing Sheffield.
They're doing Sheffield for the Switzerland match. Yeah. But I remember looking at all the past games, they haven't been to the Northwest. The last time they were was the opener of the Euros at Old Trafford. But apart from that, they haven't been there for years in the Northwest. Which is mad. You've got the Etihad, you've got Old Trafford, like you've got all these big stadiums, and they're not using them. They've got a Norwich. It's
Coventry.
I suppose as well at the minute, because it's women's international break, but the men's teams are still playing club football at the minute. So I suppose they've got to fight with men's club football for women's international football. So Wembley's like not used for club football.
Maybe. You've got to be the voice of reason, haven't you?
It just popped into my head just now.
That was very intelligent thinking, that was. I'm really impressed.
In fact, we're just going to leave the pod there. That's the best thing we're going to say all night. It's been a pleasure. See you later.
I read
try to schedule it all in.
I read saw a post about the attendances across all the games in the international break, and Wembley was top with 47,900, and we were third with Coventry with 20,400, and then I think Germany, Australia had 26.5.
Yeah, something right.
But those were the top three, and then it drops off pretty quickly.
I think if we had a friendly against Australia, we'd pull some pretty big crowds. I think there's a lot of Australia fans in the UK.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll look forward to that announcement very, very soon. That'll be Wembley on a Friday night as well. But yeah, under 23s then. So it was 1-1 against the Netherlands. They flew out there last week. And then they managed to win 1-0 against Portugal. In the dying moments, it was Michelle Adjuman getting the winner, of course. Missy Ball being captain as well, getting that experience. And our lovely Robbo got player of the match as well. But yeah, it looks like they all had a fantastic tournament.
Yeah. It looked like from the match report that Missy Bo-Kearns had a really good, was involved in a lot in that second match.
Yeah, she had a few chances, didn't she? It's really kind of build and go for it. Emily, what's that going to do for her coming back to club?
Well, hopefully she can bring that, because she's captain as well, isn't she? Hopefully she can bring that confidence back with her. I mean, I'm curious, we'll probably get onto it later, but I'm curious about the lineup on Saturday, considering the minutes everyone's played over the break. I think she played, 19 both? Yeah. She played both the games, but hopefully she can. That under 23s team is stacked with talent.
It's incredible, isn't it? Yeah. Like you're looking at all these names, like all of you are in one team. Like that is mad. Will they break into the seniors? Who knows? Will they get a chance?
More on that later.
You're getting good at this, Emily. Thanks, Emily. Now, of course, under 23s weren't the only youth group in action. We had the under 19s as well. Ruby Tucker and Sophia Pua were part of the squad that took part in the Algarve Cup, and they.
Sophia Pua put a really cute video of her about 12 years old, saying, "One day I'll play goalkeeper for England."
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
It's really cute.
I sent that to my niece because that's her. She loves being in goal and just everything to do with football. And I was like, see, this could be you.
Yeah, dreams can come true. We've got one right here. Oh, no, I did. I'll have to look for that one. So they faced Netherlands and won 3-1, and they won 2-0 against Norway as well. Now, for most of these games as well, what we've kind of seen is either play one, not the other, or maybe have a couple of minutes in both matches. And that was the same here. So Tucker played against Netherlands, but Sophia was on the bench. Eve Annetts got the call up for that one. But then in the second match against Norway, Tucker was on the bench, but Sophia started in goal for that one. But again, fantastic international minutes for all of them in that competitive and warm weather environment as well. So yeah, they've done fantastically well. So again, really hard to see any highlights. Again, that was just match reports. I don't think they've released any footage from those, did they? Which again, annoying. just want a few bits. We just want to see how they're performing. Right then, shall we move on to our seniors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Touch on the under-17s that are at their World Cup, because we've got, is it Maltby's out with them? Is Maltby out with them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We absolutely can. I've missed my bullet point off. Yes, Sophie.
Sorry, before we move off of the unders and into the under-17s are out there. They're facing. Oh, who are they facing?
Spain.
It's always Spain.
It's always Spain.
Always Spain.
Yes,
that's on at 11 o'clock, isn't it? So if anyone wants any under-17s football for the semi-final of the Women's World Cup tonight, 11 o'clock. Get yourselves
on FIFA Plus.
Thank you, Emily.
There you go.
Girls on the ball, Sophie and Rachel have been doing really good coverage for the under-17s. They've gone out.
They were out of the group stages. They're back now. But yeah, they were doing phenomenally well, because I think they were sponsored for the first time, weren't they, to go over and get some really good content. But yeah, this is why we need more. Like, we need to see more media, more accessibility, because all of these youngsters are doing so well. But again, it's only if you know where to look.
I think I've seen more from them than the official England accounts, but that could just be algorithms. Like,
they
you need to go searching, don't you?
They posted a thing with Sean Gota. I think that's going to be coming out soon, and I was unclear whether he was out there. He had FIFA gear on. I was unclear whether he was out there or not. I don't know when it was recorded.
That's interesting. Should be with us.
I can't remember if he was at the last game or not, because they've obviously been out for a while, the under-17s, because it's they've had all the group stages and stuff.
I'm gonna go have a look.
But yeah, the quarter-final that they played against, that England played against Japan, went to penalties, and Rachel Maltby smashed hers, obviously. Like we saw her take one at Charlton in pre-season and smash that in as well. So, but yeah, they did really well, because they came back. They came from behind twice, I think, to get that to this penalty shootout, and then won the shootout 4-1.
Yeah, because the goalkeeper, Rebecca Dowsett, came on, didn't she, just for the penalty shootout? It was like in the 96 minutes she came on. And I was talking to Amadine Miguel earlier, and she was saying, to get those minutes to come on in the last moments for a penalty shootout, save 2 for your country, and then send your country through to the next round. Like, that coming back to clubs is going to be incredible for her, isn't it? Yeah. To be able to.
Have you seen any of the review system that they're sort of trialing at that tournament?
Yeah, it's a bit like tennis, isn't it?
It's a little bit chaos. It's chaos.
Yeah, so talk us through it if people aren't sure what it is.
I think the premise is both coaches get 2 review cards, if you like. So they can choose, there's 3 or 4 things they can choose to get reviewed. So like possible red card, basically the same as the things VAR is supposed to look at: possible red card, goal or no goal, like penalty shouts and things like that. And it's a bit like in cricket or other sports, where if your review is successful, you keep your card, and if it's not, you lose it. But we saw in that match, one of the England defenders got a yellow card, which would have meant she missed the semi-final, and then it was reviewed. But they go through a whole host. They watch all the build-up play to see if there's anything prior to it that would overturn it. And in that case, there was. So there was a previous foul by one of the Japanese players that resulted in a yellow card, which meant that the England player's yellow card was overturned. So I don't know if it would work in league games. It would just be a bit, I think it's slightly too long-winded.
Yeah, if they simplify it, if it's a bit like, because I was thinking a bit like the tennis one, where you get like 3 calls essentially. So if they did it, I don't know, a bit more streamlined, I can see that going quite well, especially if you're on the fence and you just want to see what's happening. Because imagine the power to then overturn a card, like a wrong card as well. That would be phenomenal, wouldn't it? Chaotic, and I'm here for it, but phenomenal.
Then games would last like 2 hours and not 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, is that a bad thing? Probably for the players. Probably for the players for that one. I have got an answer for Sean Gorter. He has gone out there. So it's FIFA's Technical Study Group and Football Performance Insights team will be on site to attend and observe all 32 matches, monitoring the technical and tactical trends that emerge. Here we introduce our TSG members and full team for the Under-17s Women's World Cup. And Sean Gorter is on here. But it does still list him as currently assistant head coach with Aston Villa Women's team. So yeah, he was part of the technical study group for the Under-20s World Cup in Argentina 2023. So he's keen to see what the Under-17s can show as well. So yes, so he is currently out there as a technical expert. So there you go, technical expert. So hopefully we'll have him back soon. And we'll see. We'll see what he's going to do. But yeah, I mean, Under-17's incredible. Because it's the first semi-final, what's it, for 10? No, since 2008?
8, I want to say, yeah.
Yeah, because I sent that picture through, didn't I, with Lucy Stan and Jordan and Lucy Bronze, all looking fuming in that team picture. But yeah, so ever since 2008, so they've done phenomenally well.
If they win, they face North Korea, who beat USA 1-0. So
yeah,
which will be a tough match.
That'd be a really good match. Like, I really hope they do it. Just kind of again for the experience, because North Korea, I think a lot of people kind of write them off, don't they? But they don't.
Their unders teams are on it.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we wish them the best of luck, and we'll keep everything crossed that they do get through this evening, which was at 11 o'clock if you do want to go watch it. Now, should we talk a bit about our seniors? Because I don't think I've missed anything else out, have I? From the unders. But hey, keep us right. Keep shouting. That's absolutely fine. Now, we had a mixed bag. Now, we all got excited because Maz got a first call-up, didn't she, for the Philippines? And then Tracy, I think it was you, didn't you, last week? We're like, oh, well, it says she's going to be called up as a training player. We weren't quite sure what that meant. But essentially, she's been out.
It's because she can't play, doesn't have a Filipino passport yet. So she can't actually play for them.
Oh, there's you with your knowledge.
I don't know how I found that out, actually. But I found it out somehow.
It makes sense. It makes sense. I can do that.
Was it on Maz's Snapchat?
Yeah.
There we go. Power of social media. We should try and get her on the pod and talk about kind of her, like, how this all came about. I think that'd be really, really interesting, because she hasn't really, apart from on Snapchat, like that, there hasn't been that story, has there? So I don't know if Villa have got something planned for when she gets back, but well, like now-ish. But yeah, that could be really good, and see how that all turned out. But she looked so happy in all the pictures, didn't she? But that experience, Sophie, that's going to be really invaluable, isn't it, for coming back into the team and again trying to break back into that starting lineup, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like, obviously, if she can't play because she's not got the passport, that's fair enough. It would have been nice for her to get minutes, like, in a game, because she's not really been getting them at Villa at the minute. I would say it'd be interesting, but I think only Noelle's been, from our defence, has been playing internationally this window, right?
Yes.
No, and Patsy. Patsy's played both games.
Yeah.
I was trying to go through the back line and I was like picturing them all.
So we've only got 4. He doesn't use anyone else.
So I don't know if they will be rested or not, but
maybe not. Noelle was playing. Again, I was going to talk about them individually, but she played really well over this break.
It's got to be good as well for them to just train with a different set of players and a different setup, because especially if you don't usually get called up for international windows, you're training all the time with the same set of people at club. So it's just a sort of a refresher, a reset that sometimes needed, because like we said, she hasn't played hardly at all so far this season, which has to be frustrating. I know it's a team game and you use the whole squad, but it's still got to be frustrating on an individual level.
Oh, completely. Especially when she was so used to being in the starting 11, like being such a fixture for Villa as well. So yeah, it can only be a good thing. And we saw Leah Williamson in her press conference as well, didn't we? Say it's so nice to be in a different environment, like mentally refreshing as well. And going to Turkey for 2 weeks isn't too bad as well, is it? She's had a cracking time. I will just say, Gary, I'm so sorry. You've been putting loads of comments in the chat. But because it doesn't ping up with the messages, it's like a really tiny orange dot. So I've just been not even looking. But hey, Gary had the knowledge as well. She doesn't have a passport yet, but she has her fingers crossed it'll be in place for November. There we go. So hopefully the next international break we can get that too. He also says the referees are bad enough. Don't confuse them anymore.
Sorry guys, I've had to relocate to charge my phone, so I'm sat in between a curtain and the side of the bed on a camping chair. Okay, sorry. This is my life at the moment. Sorry.
It just looks like you've made yourself a fort, which I quite like.
Literally, that's what I've done. Yeah.
Because we could hear you rustling about. I was like, what is she doing?
Sorry.
We like, guess where
you all know my situation at the moment, don't you? So basically, I'm living with my mother-in-law in a very small bedroom while we relocate. So I'm homeless. So, please bear with me and my lovely red curtain.
It's a beautiful red curtain. In fact, we'll all get matching red curtains and we'll all have them. Yeah. Matching folds.
I actually think I have a spare pair of burgundy curtains somewhere.
I'm sure Villa have probably got some like old refurbishments we could just kind of like wrap them around us. But yeah, so we do hope Maz will have everything in place for November. Now we're going to come onto our Canadian duo, Dree and Sabs. Emily, I know we were watching this one, weren't we? And it finished 1-1, Canada versus Spain. Emily, do you want to take us through key points from this one? How did they both play? Anything?
Yeah, I was expecting a Spain win because they're Spain, but Canada's defense is always one of their strongest parts of their game, and I think I'm sorry, I'm stealing stats from Sophie. Spain's possession was 73 versus Canada's 27. And I think Spain had 32 shots, 10 of which were on target. So that's the kind of game it was. But Canada got the opening goal in the second half. Alidou on 49 minutes. And then they held on. They managed to hold on until the 89th minute. And Spain eventually scored.
It was gutting, wasn't it? You were just like,
it was. I really thought they were gonna. I mean, I know it's only a friendly, but it's still, beating the world champions.
Yeah.
In their backyard. Dree came on in the 78th minute. So she didn't play very much, but again, it was a really defensive game from Spain's point of view, from Canada's point of view. I think she probably could have come on a bit earlier. Because they were, she could have probably offered a bit more than the players they had on at the time. And then Sabs obviously came on, played the second half. They switched their keepers out. Kaylin Sheridan played the first half and Sabs played the second. And she made some really good saves. I think they allocated that. They'd had her down as making 5, out and out saves. But I know from sort of social media, people were a little bit apprehensive at half time when they made the substitutes.
Oh, really?
Because of how much Spain were attacking the goal. I think there's always a bit of hesitancy and being like, oh, you're changing the goalkeeper, right?
But why are you doing that?
Yeah, equally, the same people were really surprised, but pleasantly so, about how well she played. And I think that from what I was reading as well, people, are putting that down to the playing time she's getting at Villa. And obviously, the more you play, the more confident you get, and the more comfortable you are. And I think that obviously showed with the save she was making on Friday, was it?
Yeah. Yeah, because they only had the one match, didn't they? Which we thought was quite bizarre, yeah. But yeah, I suppose because she was on the bench at Arsenal for so long, she wasn't getting that time, was she? And then therefore wasn't getting it for Canada. So when she came to Villa, that probably would have been like a breath of fresh air for her, wouldn't it? To be like, oh, I can play,
Yeah, she played really well, and overall Canada played really well defensively to hold Spain to a draw.
No, it was an incredible result for them. Just again, like we said, gutting they couldn't keep on for the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, it is such a shame they haven't they didn't have a second game this international window, and they haven't announced anything for the November window yet either.
No. Do we think that's maybe to do with what's going on behind the scenes? Maybe if they're not
the coaching situation and everything that's involved with that. It's just a shame for the players because they're missing out, like we said, on that international window experience.
Yeah, that's right. And especially with Dree missing kind of the previous match, then only getting maybe 20 minutes, and you just think that all of the players, not just ours that we care about, they're at a bit of a disadvantage, aren't they? Because they're not at club getting the training time, and then they're not playing out there. So it's kind of a makes you wonder why there wasn't like a training game with like a local team or something else with it. But yeah, when Dree came on, she looked good, didn't she?
Yeah, she looked ready to go.
Ready to go, and hopefully she's ready to go this weekend as well. Right then, thank you for that, Emily. Thank you very much. Right, where should we go next? Kenza, of course. Did anyone watch any of the France highlights? Kenza did a cracking job, as per usual. Back to her old self. They won 3-0 against Jamaica. Kenza getting the assist for a Wendy Renard goal. Kenza, of course, taking the corner. So she could just do that more at club. Have her in that. But of course, it does also help that Wendy Renard is like 10 foot tall, so she can then header in from the set piece. So maybe that's the key. You need to sign
a really small defender.
In fact, get Jill Scott out of retirement. We'll just bring her on for the corners.
Re-sign is a good win.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, what an investment that would be. Bring her back to the WSL. She deserves it. But yeah, Kenza had a really, really strong window. We've talked a bit about Noelle as well, haven't we? Started both games, played both through, I believe. They drew against Australia and won against France. That's to Switzerland, and made some cracking interceptions as we know her for.
That was a really good result for them against France. Second game, wasn't it?
Yeah,
France are almost having, as in a sort of similar dip in form to England, where it's just not happening.
It's not quite clicking, is it? There's just something not quite right. Because I was looking at the stats and I was like, and even just watching the highlights of most of the game, I was like, how have they not scored? Like the 3-0 Jamaica game should have been at least 6 or 7. Like the amount of shots they just were going like that wide, and it's like, what is going on? It was like watching Villa, to be honest. So Kenza probably felt right at home with that one. But yeah, it's strange watching our different teams. And again, we'll talk about Germany in a minute. How some teams were going through a rough patch and are now on the other side, and some teams, like England, are just plateauing and struggling to. Get those creative juices going. Now, Chastity for the Netherlands. She was an unused sub. Did we all see they beat Indonesia 15-0?
Yeah.
Awful. But then it begs the question, again, it was a friendly, but Netherlands, Indonesia, they're not really the matchup.
They're the scores that we used to see previously, like when England played whoever it was, I can't remember. Macedonia, or I don't remember who we played, but we won 20 or something like that. It's like you say, I thought those sorts of matchups were in the past a little bit, but maybe not.
Me too. Yeah. Because it's not helpful for anyone, isn't it? Like if you're Indonesia, yes, you might think, oh, we're going up against the Netherlands, we could maybe learn some bits and pieces, but that's got to be soul destroying, right? Like it's just
They learn how to lose 15-0.
Hey, what they learn. And we'll never do it again. Brilliant. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. So yeah, Chastity unfortunately wasn't unused sub for that match. But interestingly, started at right back against Denmark, which was an interesting turn of events. She was a bit more like a Lucy Bronze right back though, where she wasn't really a right back. She was just up the wing. Sophie, what do you think about that one?
It's not the first time a wing has been put in a wing back position. It happens a lot in Man United. Leah Galton and
that's true. Yeah.
Celine Bizet have both played.
Yeah.
At left and right back rather than on wings, and just bomb up the side. But yeah, it's an interesting one. I suppose depends. So from what I've heard from like ex-footballers that have been chatting about it, they say like it's quite like if you've got a winger at left or right back and you're like sending them up the pitch, then your centre halves have to be like you're basically playing like a really high. You're expecting to have a lot of the ball higher up the pitch, so your defense doesn't really have to worry too much. Like so you've got 3 across the back rather than
that
4. Yeah. So it's more of like an attacking but I don't know because I didn't watch the game, so I don't know how they were playing it. But...
No, that sounds pretty much right. They did end up winning 2-1. But yeah, because I remember I was watching bits of it and I was like, hang on, where is she? Oh, she's in the box. Again, it was like an Anna Patton, kind of like, what, in the box again? Like, what? You should be back there. But no, again, looking really, really strong. I don't envy Robert Powell at all for his starting choices. But again, we're going to talk about it. Now, 2 more we've got to get through. Kirsty Hansen and Anna Patton weren't just involved in friendlies, of course. It was their European qualifiers, wasn't it? There are 7 spots left. And just kind of a brief overview. So round 1 was over 2 legs, home and away. And I've even got, look at this, right. Leg 1, is it gonna, hang on. It's given us all my options on top and I can't read it. That's annoying, isn't it? Right, okay. So Wales unfortunately lost their first leg. Republic of Ireland won 6-0. So Georgia, it was looking very unlikely they were going to win the return. Scotland, there was only, funnily enough, it was won by a goal. Emma, I've stolen one of your lines for that one. And Northern Ireland managed to draw 1-1. So for the majority of them, it was all to play for in the return leg. And then we get to here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to say.
Did anyone see the end of the Ireland match, the first match, where there was a check on a goal? I think it was maybe the 3rd or 4th goal, and it went on for ages. I'm not sure if there was some communication problem between the VAR and the ref, but it went on for ages. The teams were literally just having a kickabout each on the pitch, and both captains, like Katie McCabe and the Georgia captain, were stood by the ref just basically laughing at it because they were like, what? I don't even know why they were checking it, to be honest.
No, because you think at this point when, again, Republic of Ireland are 3-0 up on aggregate 9-0, should it have taken that long? No, it shouldn't have. But yeah, so as we can see by leg 2, as we've got here, all of the home nations plus Republic of Ireland, as Sophie told me last night not to call them a home nation, have all qualified. They've all gone through. So Wales won an aggregate 3-2. Republic of Ireland, as we said, 9-0. Scotland 5-0 because they just completely dominated. Again, Kirsty Hansen not getting a lot of joy personally, but again, look quite strong, quite creative, as we've seen. Martha Thomas and Lisa Evans were phenomenal, by the way. If anyone did watch,
see Martha Thomas's little cheeky like back heel or whatever it was to set up.
Yeah,
whoever's, I can't remember whose goal it was now.
Who did she think she was? Alessia Russo. What's good?
It was so good. Like,
it was just, you could tell by her face as well when she did it. She was like, "Oh, didn't expect that to come off." But yeah, it was so good. But yeah, they've done phenomenally well. So just as a little third one. Okay, so they're now through to round 2. It's not over. Okay, it's not over yet. So round 2, also 2-legged ties. Wales versus the Republic of Ireland is going to be a really, really good one there. And also means that whoever goes through, it's going to be their debut at the Euros as well. Neither of them have qualified before. And also Northern Ireland have got to beat Norway, who unfortunately have had a really good qualifying round as well. So yeah, it's going to be really, really tough to see who's going to take those last 7.
Scotland have got a really good chance of winning that matchup.
Yeah, Scotland, Finland. I think that's doable. I think they can definitely do it.
Scotland are looking really good as well at the minute, and they've got a lot of really talented players in their squad.
Yeah, absolutely. I did have some stats and figures, I believe. Let's have a look. So Norway and Sweden are former winners. Neither team have failed to qualify since the introduction of the group stage in 1997. Okay, so they've always got through. Let's have a look. Scotland and Ukraine have also qualified in the past. We know that. And yeah, we know Wales or Republic of Ireland will definitely make their debut in Switzerland. And Czechia and Ukraine both missed out on the 2022 playoffs as well. So yeah, loads to play for. Again, they're going to be 2-legged. A round of 2-legged legs. And hopefully we see a lot more of those names coming through at the finals in the summer. But yeah, 7 places left. So yeah, all to play for still. I don't know if anyone watched any other bits and pieces. We're going to talk about England in a sec. But yeah, any other games or players or moments that caught anyone's eye?
I saw in the second game Germany played Australia. Australia ended up winning that match, but it was Alex Pop's final international game, and she only played 14 minutes, and then they gave her a proper send off, which was nice.
14.
Did I hear a rumor on social media? So I haven't fact checked this, so someone can correct me if I'm wrong here. Is that she had the rainbow armband on and got asked to swap it for the Germany armband?
I also saw that. But I haven't followed it up, so I'm not sure. But
okay, so what happened? She put the rainbow on, and they told her not to.
Yeah, and to wear the Germany one instead.
I don't like that.
No.
I can kind of see them wanting her in the like Germany one for the final game, maybe for like the photo op, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, I kind of not a fan of players being asked to remove the rainbow armband.
No, because it's a bit like it was like the men's World Cup all over again, isn't it? When they were told you're not allowed to do it. Let's have a look. So yeah, so Alex Pop, of course, legend of the game. Oh shit, that's too. Yeah. Anything else while I quickly Google this that anyone wants to? Anyone got any memories of Alex Pop that they'd like to share?
The only thing I can think about is not international, and it's Jen Beattie and Alex Pop at the Wolfsburg.
Take her out.
Oh, that was phenomenal.
Celebrating a goal and then just she's over.
It's just like Jen Beattie would be the last person you'd be expected to be standing there as well. didn't move. Like, no, you're not celebrating.
Oh,
I
also,
love the, sorry, yeah, go on, Emily.
Nope.
I like the thing of putting a big a big defender up front when you're losing.
I wonder who does that. England would never.
On other legends of the game retiring, I think she's already retired from international football, but I think Christine Sinclair plays her last game for the Thorns on Friday.
Oh, was it on Friday?
I saw they posted sort of a goodbye video compilation of the other players.
Isn't it?
Mm.
That's gonna be awful when she goes. I've had a quick Google. I can't see anything. So Sophie, I'm tasking you that one to follow up on the TikTok.
I think that's going to be one of those that might be probably there'll never be any information about it, whether it happened or not. Could just be a social media.
Oh, one final thing that's unrelated entirely to international games, but Erin McLeod has signed for Halifax Tides in the NSL, new Canadian league for next year.
Oh, there's been I'm intrigued as to how that all sets up, because it looks like, I mean, I'm buzzing for them that they've got a professional league finally. But yeah, I just hope none of our Canadians kind of disappear.
I was going to say, are we looking at a mass exodus of Canadians to
Canada? We definitely cannot lose, Dre.
I'm curious as to the like levels, a bad way of saying it, but the level of players that sign from overseas for the first year of that league.
Yeah, who they're going to attract through the door to see kind of what's going on. Yeah, they're probably going to be looking for players who again aren't getting minutes. So see to kind of establish it and see what level's going to be like. But yeah, no, interesting. Is it next year they're starting?
Yeah, I think it starts in April.
Yeah. So hey, watch this space. We might have some updates. Again, hopefully not because we've lost any of our players. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on it, won't we? Any other bits about internationals before we talk about England and justice for Lucy Parker? Yep, good.
Move on to Lucy Parker.
Let's move on to justice for Lucy. I could, and again, we can all discuss what on earth happened in this international window. Against Germany, I can understand maybe why she wasn't played, because she hasn't had that many minutes, has she? Against South Africa, where they needed a quick, strong, physical defender. Discuss. So yeah,
such good form as well.
Such good form, yeah. And that's what Serena's always said, isn't she? That be in form, get your minutes for club, do all of these things, and then not. So yeah, Tracy, do you want to kind of give us talk about any of these England games, really? Lucy, should she have been getting some minutes?
I think so. But it's Serena that we're talking about, isn't it, really? And you can never tell what she's going to do and why she's going to do it. So, yeah, I wasn't actually surprised that she didn't play in either game, to be quite honest with you. I wasn't expecting her to. I just wasn't expecting her to be picked by Serena. So, yeah, I wasn't really surprised, but unfortunately, she didn't, yeah.
Yeah, because were you surprised for that second lineup that there were 8 changes?
Yeah, there was loads.
Yeah.
Who was the player that was playing up front in the number 9 shirt?
Just Naz.
Yeah. Didn't rate her at all. He looked like, for me, it looked like her heart wasn't in it. It just didn't. There were points I was watching her and it was like she was lost on the pitch, literally, like she didn't know where she was, like she'd had a memory lapse or something. Literally, from her body language, that's what it looked like to me. But I just didn't rate her personally in that game at all. Yeah, it was mad that she made so many changes, and like you said, it was the perfect opportunity for her to bring Lucy on, but she didn't take it. So, yeah.
And the fact she had 6 subs as well to use, and you thought, right, come on. But she also didn't bring on Aggie Beaver-Jones either. So there's an argument for that.
Yeah.
Emily, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, on Aggie Beaver Jones. Like, I don't get why. So you make the change up front, and then you're still not putting in the player that's on the best form in Aggie Beaver Jones. I don't get that at all. I don't know what more she has to do to play. And I saw somebody say, like, if I get it's the experience of being called up to the senior international camp, but she could have been getting playing time minutes with the under 23s. So if you're not going to play for the seniors, she could have been playing for.
Please give her that time, because
especially because it's only a friendly window.
Yeah, because then I saw someone say, "Oh, but it's an insult now putting her back with the 23s." And I was like, "No, it's not. Like, she's getting minutes. She's still with her age group, really. Like, she's getting minutes. She's getting exposure. Like that's nonsense. People on the internet again talking rubbish.
Still international football, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. And given her that, Emma, what do you think about the difference between kind of the two England matches? Because I think so much was built up for Wembley and Germany, and then we saw what happened. So for South Africa, should it have been more of a chance to really show what we're about? Kind of what did you think of this international break, Emma?
Well, I didn't see much of the England-Germany because I was at Panto, so I only watched the first half. But it was
that's not good enough.
It was a defensive disaster class. I did watch it back though, so you know.
Okay.
It was an exciting game. But I agree totally. It was a different. Yeah, the defence was shocking, but it was an exciting game in that there were 7 goals, and it was just exciting to watch.
Yeah, I have to agree there.
Yeah.
I think both defences had more holes than a sieve.
Because that's the thing, because defensively Germany weren't that great either, but we just couldn't put anything away, could we? I did love the moment that Georgia Stanway was like, right, I'm not having this. You'll be teammates. I'm not getting the stick. And then comes back and scores 2. She's like, right, game on. I'm not having it. Emma, sorry, we're going to say anything else. Completely hijack that there.
Well, I feel like the ref was probably being commissioned on the way because there was 3 in that game. Alessia Russo, I personally don't think was faulty because she'd got the ball, she kicked the ball moved, like it deflected off her foot. So I don't understand how then when she was leave her leg in the air, like, is she a ballet dancer? Did she think she was a fairy? No, her legs got to come down to earth. So how does that work?
Her legs got to come down.
I don't understand.
It's just a stupid rule, isn't it? But
from the replay, it looks like the Germany player kicks Alessia Russo. It's not Alessia Russo making the contact. Like Alessia Russo's already moved the ball on, and then the Germany player just it has mistimed it.
And then of course we're penalised for it. But I don't think we can take anything away from Julia Gwynn and those first 2 goals, can we? Annoyingly so. But Germany feel like they're going through, like they've had their dip, they had their rough couple of months at the World Cup and things like that, and now they're coming out the other side. They've got a new manager, haven't they? They've brought some youth players through. Emily, do you reckon they're going to be a force to be reckoned with at these Euros? Because they look pretty good, don't they?
Yeah, I think so. Germany are always a good team, even when they were going through their not so good patch. They're never going to be a walkover game. So, I think they'll be up there again next summer as one of the favourites.
Yeah, I think so. Sophie, what were you going to say there?
Yeah, they still got bronze at the Olympics. It's not exactly.
I thought you were saying something about Lucy Bronze. I was like,
have they? They've signed Lucy Bronze.
She's definitely ours for this one.
They had far too many minutes in an England shirt to make a switch.
Exactly, far too many. I saw someone saying that she was like 100 years old. I was like, well, that's a bit rude. Yeah, there was. I mean, people say some absolute rubbish, don't they, on the internet? They're like, she shouldn't be playing. She's over 100 years old. What's she playing at? And I was like, she was literally the only person between the South African.
South Africa had more,
yeah. Like she was the only person there. She's still the quickest getting back. So yeah, any Lucy Bronze haters can just get in the bin, really. For that one.
Our defence looked sluggish and like they'd never played football before, some of them. Like,
that was what I was gonna ask. So in the South Africa game, obviously Serena's made all these changes. The first half they look more creative, didn't they? They looked a bit more fluid. They looked like, oh, okay, this is in England, we can get behind. And they looked a bit more like had a bit more magic in them, didn't they? Because it was brand new. And then it got to the 60 minutes, and then she started bringing on Frank Kirby, Ella Toone, Alessia Russo, like all the kind of like the favourites and the originals. And then it went stale again, didn't it? And you just think there was no need to bring them on. Like Myla Tissier was doing a really good job. Lucy didn't need to come on. Thankfully, she did at one point because of the defence, but she was having a good game, Myla Tissier. And you just think, of all the subs that could have been made, why make it that stale again?
Yeah, you know what those players are going to bring.
Yeah.
It's almost like I know it's a football game and you want to win the football game, but it's almost like they were afraid. She was afraid of losing the match. So she's like, I'll throw on my core group.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to...
It's a cool group there.
rather than try and bring on the rest of the players that hadn't had any playing time, or just leave the others on for a bit longer.
Yeah.
Like, that's...
Because no one was playing that horrendously. Yeah. No one, maybe one person. But... like the majority of them were playing all right. It could have stayed on. Like didn't need to make those changes.
I thought Grace Clinton looked really good in
she was doing really well. Again, Jess Naz, take her off, put Aggie on.
Exactly.
That would have been a like for like.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Or as Esme Morgan, because she started and she hadn't started the other one, so you could have brought her off, move Alex Greenwood over, put Lucy Parker on.
Exactly. Yeah. Because Esme Morgan's always a strange one. Because again, she was still getting call-ups when she was at City and she was on the bench a lot. And now she's in America. I haven't really followed her. Has anyone been following NWSL?
No, I think she's played a bit. I haven't.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if she's starting every game, but she is getting minutes for them.
Yeah. And you just think again, what's Lucy got to do something?
I do think with Esme Morgan, not so much on her footballing, but I think her personality is a really important one to have in camp.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the reasons she gets taken to tournaments is for what she brings off the pitch as well as what she's able to bring on the pitch. I think she's a very everything's going to be fine. Everything's great.
Let's make bracelets.
Positive. Yeah. My partner actually has an Esme Morgan bracelet.
Does she?
She won in a competition. Yeah, in a raffle.
See, the love is spread far and wide.
Exactly.
By Esme. Tracy, you were going to say something there.
I was just going to say, talking about Serena, I read somewhere, I think it was today or it was either yesterday, and you probably know this fact anyway. Sophie, you definitely know this fact. That one of the major problems that Dutch fans had with Serena managing the Dutch team was that she had a favourite and she didn't really play. Yeah, she didn't really play from her head. She played from her heart. She played the players from her heart because she had her favourites, and it's literally what she's doing now. So it wasn't surprising that all of those players came out in the second half, really. She must have been getting withdrawal symptoms. So, it was inevitable, really.
Yeah, I haven't seen them play for 60 minutes. Need to get them on. Need to get
exactly. Yeah.
I think as well it makes players sloppy if they know that they're going to get minutes.
Yeah.
They've not got anything to prove when they're on the pitch. They don't need to prove anything. Whereas if you put a youngster on that's still trying to prove themselves, they're going to put more into it, even if it's a friendly. Whereas if you know you're going to play 60 minutes and you're going to play 60 minutes, regardless of if you put one of the worst performances of your life in. Like,
I saw
That's true.
an interview with Lucy Bronze, which must have been after the final whistle from the South Africa game. And they were asking about Leah Williamson and how good it was for her to score, which obviously it was, her first goal back after her ACL. And Lucy said in one of her answers, something to the effect of she needs to be given the time to get back to the Leah Williamson that we know, which is fine. Nobody is disagreeing with that. Obviously, she's had a massive time out of the game with the injury and the rehab and the recovery. But I think the point that people are making is that she doesn't need to be playing for England, starting for England, while she's still in that getting back to her best level phase.
No, exactly.
It's just very. I get why. Obviously, the team all really want her playing, is that from what Lucy and other players were saying, but it's just it. I don't know. There are other players. If you should be picking your players based on form, not what they can be or could be.
Yeah, because to build her back up, bring her on for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
She can still be captain and still have an impact from the bench, because we've seen when captains get injured, as she has been injured, she can still be that presence. She can still, be building up her minutes and get that exposure back. Like with Fran Kirby, like when she was still coming in and out and building up, now she's played all our minutes that we now know as for England minutes. She needed more minutes. But again, she came on for the last 30 or so minutes. So it's not as if it's not a done thing.
Not shutting the door, yeah.
Yeah.
You're in the wider group, you're in the wider squad, still doing your thing rather than...
Exactly.
Like Rachel Corsie is injured at the minute, but still went up to Scotland for the Scotland-Hungary game because she's Scotland's captain and was still involved with all the preparation for the game and sort of there as support and just a presence in the dressing room.
Yeah. And again, all that's invaluable. Like, you don't have to be on the pitch to be able to do that. So she just needs to build in a supportive environment, doesn't she? So I hope maybe going back to club, maybe that's all settled down and hopefully she can just have time. So in the next window she can come back and be better and just more of herself. Because we all said in her pre-match, we were like, she doesn't seem right. Like, she doesn't seem okay. And at the end of the day, it's player welfare first, isn't it? Rather than anything else. So yeah. So we send her all of our love. We hope it gets better soon, because starting a game is not everything. For that. Now, Emma, did you have any key bits you'd like to share for Commentary Corner?
Yeah, there are a few random ones.
Okay, wait. You need to be introduced. There we go.
Where's the music?
I sang for you. Is that not enough? I think it was the blind date theme. I'm not quite sure why that came to mind. But no, I will have music for you next time. I realized the video I had with that on was like a half a second clip, and then it went into last week's. So for next week, I will have a proper little segment for you. But for now, we shall have. In fact, no, I'll keep us all on, and then we can be on the bottom of the screen like that. And then Emma can share with us her wisdom. There we go.
Are we talking for both of the England games? Because I've got a few for both.
Any game that you want. Any game at all.
Are we supposed to be seeing each other? Because I can't see anybody.
Can you not see? Oh, can everyone else see?
Yeah.
Oh, just you, Tracy.
It's just me.
Are you portrait or landscape, Tracy?
Landscape.
Oh, I can't help you And we can see you and you look beautiful, so
it's okay. I can hear you. It's fine.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, Emma, whenever you're ready, it's your commentary corner.
Okay, so we've got this is from England. Anna Hampton, who was not expected to start because of her age and experience. Well, she stepped up when Mary was injured, because I'm pretty sure something like that in one of the England games not so long ago. So why was she not expected to start when she's been great for Chelsea? And okay, yes, she's like 23, but age is just a number. There was so much talk about Eunice Idavel. I was like, okay, I know red and white, but wrong way around. They're 2-0 up. I'm not sure they're struggling right now. Losses have become more frequent for England. Salt in the wound. Okay, let's not do that. Oh, Samsung, not now. This came from Freya. Greenwood can strike a ball. Okay?
She can.
Nice.
Apparently.
Thanks for telling us.
I would really hope that by international football they can hit a ball.
Yeah, they know what the ball
minimum requirement.
looks like and can kick it. I have. That's why Serena kept her in the team and why she's captain. On Leah scoring. Well, I'm not sure Serena thought, well, she's going to score today, so I'm gonna just pop her in the team.
Yeah.
No.
That's why we're picking Williamson. Yeah.
A player that won't have much to do. She'll have one or two things. Anything to do, or will it be one or two things? And then we've got another backtrack. I can't remember who this was about, but we've got definitely on the plane to Switzerland. But of course, we never know. On the plane to Switzerland or not. Because, and that sums up.
Definitely, maybe.
Yeah.
Sums up commentary corner. I have one more. I've just found as I was scrolling through my conversation with you. No foul as the whistle is blown for a foul. That was also a good one.
There was a lot of very late whistling though for those fouls, and the commentators were like, "No foul." Oh wait, no, they have called the foul. Okay, guys, that happened quite a lot. Like
it was just it was so funny. There was also I'm now going through. Laura Woods, who we won't go into. But she also said, Leah's come under some criticism, and as I mean in the best form of her life. And I was like, oh, that's a bit harsh. And that just kind of went through. And we also had, not really commentary corner, but if anyone follows the WSL Facebook page, where everyone fights and has arguments. There were some great ones. Where's Mary? I thought she was supposed to be on the team. Mary who?
She's Mary Fowler, obviously.
Talking about that. On Friday. So obviously Hannah Hampton was in goal, wasn't she? Yeah, and she got a lot of stick on social media.
Yeah,
it's just totally uncalled for. It really is totally uncalled for, and yeah, it's just shocking. Really.
I'm not sure what she was supposed to do on a lot of those goals.
No, she physically couldn't do anything. I also saw one person who's clearly never been a goalkeeper in his life say, well, she was facing 2 penalties. That's the thing she should be doing properly and couldn't even do that. It's like
penalties in real life penalties shootout? Like penalties on FIFA, guys.
Yeah, like this is real life. Like this is no. Because I think Paul was saying last night, wasn't he? The actual science regarding it, if a ball is going into that bottom corner, the stats of you actually physically being able as a human to move that quickly to get into that corner is nigh on impossible. So you're not meant to be able to save a penalty easily.
Has that man that made that comment actually ever stood between a full-size goalpost? Because I know, having done it before in the past a couple of times, it is huge. Yeah. I have so much respect for goalkeepers just in general, because it is absolutely huge, that space.
Yeah.
It really is.
And the pressure, the moment, yes, they go for it, but every time she went the right way. Like, she physically did everything she possibly can. But like we said, you know, you practice taking penalties, you practice putting it where you know the goalie can't get it. So to everyone who was being horrible, have clearly never even attempted. Because the majority of us would be like, oh, I wish she would have.
Yeah.
Would be like, oh,
I think a lot of the times penalties are saved and it's pure luck.
Yeah.
It's literally just pure luck. Yeah.
Because the shooter has completely like fluffed their shot.
Yeah. Just hit it straight to the goalkeeper, or not that far away from them. Yeah.
Right in their hands, but yeah, people are just, I think, annoyingly, social media, we all know it can be a wonderful place. We all know it can be a horrible place. But unfortunately, all the keyboard warriors think that, oh, well, no one's ever gonna, you know, no one can do anything. I'll just say what I want. And it's like, I'm glad now more people are calling people out on it. Yeah. But there's so many people who don't care and send hate and bile. And it's just like,
trial.
What you get from it.
Yeah, exactly. Why?
What are you getting? So yeah, if anything, we can bring positivity and support and lots of love into this community. Because the best thing kind of about being in a football community is we can discuss, can't we? And we can share, and we can criticize constructively, and we can kind of see both sides, and we take the rose-tinted glasses off and be like, right, okay, let's talk about it. And it's never malicious, and it's never, you know, with the intent to cause someone harm. But yeah, it's horrendous to think that people actually go out of their way.
I feel like, as my t-shirt says, if I can manage to get it, look, kick it out, kick it out, kick out the hate, kick out the hate. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Bring in the love vibes.
Can I add a commentary corner?
No.
Okay.
Of course you can. Go on.
I'm not going to repeat the one that I said before we came on live, because that's funny, but not the one that I have in my head. Is that the BBC did a post about Sam Kerr for Scotland. It was on the Scotland game. It was like, oh, Sam Kerr scores for Scotland against, or sets up the shot. I don't think she actually scored it. It goes down as an own goal because it rebounded off the keeper. But oh, Sam Kerr like causes the first goal, or whatever the wording was. And someone in the comments had tagged Australian Sam Kerr and gone like, congrats, Sam Kerr, and put the little Australia flag. And I was just like, oh, guys, context cues.
Oh, dear Lord. Yeah. How would that even work? I've no idea. People are
Well, Scotland were playing in blue, so obviously, you know.
Oh, exactly. Chelsea, Scotland. Erin Cuthbert was there. There we go.
Okay, it's enough of a connection.
I just got completely confused. That there's more than one football team.
I do have I don't know how well known this fun Sam Kerr fact is.
Fun fact. Okay, good.
But there's Sam Kerr, the Australian one, is Samantha May Kerr. Her sister-in-law to be is Samantha June, and the Scottish Sam Kerr is Samantha Mary Kerr.
No way.
As in America.
As in Mary, as in like Jesus' mother.
I didn't think you were going to say like April, because then that
would have been so weird. But the fact that May and Mary are like one letter apart, like they could have been almost identical.
And people will still get them confused.
I mean, how do you separate them? Like when you just see Sam Kerr, like
it's just bizarre that there are two Sam Kerrs playing at very high level football. That just, yeah, I think that's too much for some people, though. It's too much. But we'll keep pointing it out. So yeah, thank you very much. Have you got any other fun facts for us?
That's the only one that came to my head was the name one, because I just think that's such a fun fact every time. Like,
no, I love it. We need more links between people, please. I think we should a bit like go on, complete off topic. The web and the L word of everyone who was like connected to each other. That
like who's related to
names.
Like Elizabeth Turland and Erling Haaland.
Yeah, your Haaland one, yeah.
Yeah, your Haaland one.
Yeah.
Haaland one's a good one. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Did anyone see Everton? Just as a quick side note, Everton posted about who's just had a baby?
Rika Madsen's partner.
Yeah, but they posted it with one of the home guard twins, so it looked
I was like,
and I was like, I mean, there might be, but I doubt it. But yeah, it was an odd choice. It was an odd choice for Everton. But yeah, we are very pleased, proud. Congratulations. That's the one. From Madsen. Just proud.
We've not had any Villa babies yet, have we?
Villa babies.
no.
I don't think so.
That'll be exciting. I just
That'd
think
be
it's exciting. Like,
we've got Villa pets. Then the next thing is like Villa babies.
Fur babies.
there's so many dogs, so many cats.
So many dogs, so many cats. Absolutely.
I love that they bring them into training. Like Lucy Parker took her kittens into the training ground.
Multiple.
Yeah.
All of it. But yeah, but again, it's that family environment, isn't it? And again, everyone looks so happy. So going back to specifically Villa, then we've got a game this weekend, haven't we? We are playing Liverpool. Back to club action. Now, Liverpool were a bit of a bogey team last season, weren't they? We didn't expect, especially on that first game, we were like, yeah, we're getting 3 points as Liverpool. And then they showed us. And then did it again when we got completely decimated on the return leg as well. Now, Liverpool have obviously strengthened. They've had a good start to the season. They were the underdogs last year and did really well. Of course, we have strengthened, but yet to really get points on the board. I'll share with you Matt Beard's column in case anyone hasn't read it yet in a moment. But yeah, how are we feeling going into this weekend? Emma, I'll start with you. How are you feeling facing Liverpool right after an international break? How do you feel?
Excited and nervous. We've had quite a lot of players go out on international. So
yes,
it might take a or two to kind of get back to the rhythm of things. Leicester are a bit of a half moment though, because they're either on a roll or they're not out the bag.
Emma.
So
we've already played Leicester, love.
We're playing Liverpool.
No. It's
not about Liverpool. It works. You put the letters in a different order, I guess, and put the C as a V. It works.
We just play like hangman with yourself. L-I Leicester.
Yeah. I got the L. I was like, yeah.
Okay.
Leicester.
Right. We'll do that one again then. Do you want to do it and say Liverpool this time? 3, 2, 1, go.
So Liverpool are. I forgot what I said now. They're either on a roll or they're not. That's what I said.
Half and half.
Yeah,
it's like it never happened.
Love it. It's even better.
So yeah, I don't know what they're going to pull out the bag because I think they've had like a few decent games, but then they've also had a few like the Crystal Palace game. That was an exciting game. So you just don't know which team's going to come out, and I don't think they've had nationals go out as we did. The advantage, but yeah, I don't I am excited, slightly nervous, because I don't know who Rob's. But in Robert we trust. All that.
And again, who's going to turn up? It's going to be Liverpool. It's going to be Leicester. Sorry. Sophie, how are you feeling about the weekend?
I feel like I say this every week, so I'm a bit like a broken record. I don't know how this is going to go. Like, it's so hard to just judge where it's still really hard. I feel like when we get to like the end of the season, I'll still be like, I don't know how teams are going to perform. They could do anything.
Yeah, season's over. Like, I don't know what they're going to do. I still can't predict it. But that shows how tight it is, though, doesn't it?
It's chaos. I love it.
It's chaos, yeah, absolutely. I'll read you a little bit from Matt Beard's column that he writes, which I quite like. So talking about internationals, Emma, for Liverpool. Kerry Holland got the dramatic winner for Wales, so she'll be on top form, as she always is. Zara Shaw is currently out for the under-17s, so we don't have to worry about her. That's fine. Taylor Hines made her Jamaican debut during the international break as well. So that would have been a brilliant experience. They also said they're hopeful Tegan Micah will be back in the squad. Obviously not hopeful for us, but hopeful for them. Apparently she started doing some striking off the ball. I was like, that's a bit weird. Striking of the ball. There we go. So should be available for selection. He said, the international breaks came at the right time for us. If I look at how the first 5 games have gone, we should have had more points. Obviously, that's a given. But if you look at the injury problems we've had, Matt, you don't know anything about injuries. We've had to tweak the system, which doesn't help the players with consistency. It doesn't help us either. We've reviewed the first part of the season and we should be scoring a lot more goals than we've done. We are third in the expected goals list, but that's obviously the hardest thing to do, score goals. That should be on Commentary Corner as well. It's the hardest thing to do, that, score goals. We've only lost 1 game in 10, so we're not a million miles away, but we just need a bit of a break on the injury front. So does everyone. It's been frustrating, but there's still positives we can take. You've got to look at Aston Villa with the players they have signed. Of course, Missy Ball, Gabby Nunes, etc. They spent a lot of money on some quality players. I always say it's not about the money, it's the consistency. Injury. He's talking about injury. He says, Aston Villa have a new manager. They've made a lot of signings. It's a tough league. And if you look at the history of a manager from overseas coming into the WSL, it takes them a while to adjust to the standard week in, week out, and it's tough. If I look at their performances, I think their level's been good, but with making a lot of changes, it takes time. Villa have got a great squad with some top players at the front end of the pitch. Rude. And the back. It's going to be an entertaining game for sure. Of course, we'll be up against our friend in Bo. I've had a bit of a text exchange with her this week, with her being away with England. We didn't want Bo to go. We miss her, and it'll be great to see her and her family. But it's part and parcel of the game, and we wish her well after this week. So there we go.
Manifesting Missy Bo to score a screamer against them.
I thought you were going to say a hat trick, and I was like, yeah, let's get it.
I'm not getting too excited here.
Okay, I am.
Manageable manifestations.
Missy Bo hat trick. Emily, how are you feeling again in front of this weekend?
Yeah, nervous. The same. I think it's not a must-win game, but it almost is. Because it's only going to get
just everything we say now is like, yep.
Note it down.
Not a must-win, but it is.
You know what I mean? We've got Man United away the following week, which is going to be tough. So
yeah.
I'm really curious to see if he's gonna make changes because of the minutes various players have played over this window.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a tricky one because I'm hoping he does. Obviously, Anna Patton played the full match, both games for Ireland, but I don't think we can afford to not play her.
I know that's the thing, isn't it? Because this will be Paula's third game, won't it?
Yeah, and then she's back.
Should be back
for United.
Potentially, yeah.
I'm hoping that maybe we get to see Dree start, because obviously our other wingers have all played a lot of minutes over the international window.
Yeah.
She obviously missed the game the week before and then only played briefly at the end of the Spain match. So I feel like this is the prime opportunity to start her.
Yeah, 100%. Because, like you said, should technically be the kind of freshest to start and hopefully make an impact from the beginning and not coming on at 61 minutes as usual. Tracy, have I asked you yet?
No.
Tracy, how are you feeling about the weekend?
We need to win, don't we?
We do. Yeah. Need some results on the board.
Yeah, we definitely need to win. Because we just can't afford for this hole to get any deeper, basically.
The hole to get any deeper. No, you're right. If we look at the table, so there's us, Everton, and West Ham all on 2 points. And then it jumps to 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. So between that, the middle and the bottom, there's 1 or 2 points in it. And then, of course, it starts to peel away with the ones at the top. But if you think about, let's have a look this weekend. So Tottenham, West Ham, hopefully Spurs win and keep West Ham down, and Everton, Chelsea as well. So again, hopefully Chelsea keep Everton down. Sorry, Everton. But yeah, even if we get something, even if it's not a win, hopefully it's a win, but even if it's not, if we get something, it's again another point keeping us out of that bottom scrap, essentially, isn't it? Because after the City match, Robert Powell said, didn't he? He was like, look, we are improving, but we need the points. It's a points-based game. It's a results-based game. So
I feel for him as well, and I feel for, obviously I want us to win, and if we don't win, I feel for him because he's been getting some hate as well, and it's just not. I just don't like seeing people get hate, and
especially when it's not justified.
It's not justified, no.
It hasn't been 5 seasons of relegation fights,
Exactly. And at the end of the day, well, it's my opinion, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who have the same opinion. We are, even though we're losing and drawing, we are playing much better than we were last year. So
yeah,
that's my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And we've got more points than we did this time last season. So really, we're getting there. We're getting better. So as long as they're coming out, they're fighting, and they're really going for it. We say it every week, but we mean it, don't we? We just want them to want it.
I'm looking. No, you go.
It's fine. I was probably just going to waffle on about something.
I'm looking forward to the update on the injuries and stuff tomorrow. I presume it's tomorrow, isn't it?
It is tomorrow, 1:30. I'll be there.
We've seen Georgie Mullet looks like she's in full training from the pictures they've posted, or at least training with the other players.
Oh, I'll add it to my list. Georgia.
And they posted pictures of Lucy Stanback on the pitch, which is good because I think initially they said 3 to 4 weeks, maybe. So
she's back.
I'm not sure how many weeks ago that was. Maybe 2. She missed the Man City game, and it's been a week, so yeah.
Is Lee back with us? Lee, is she back?
I think she was doing individual training, yeah.
She's on my list. I was going to ask for updates on Jill Byings as well, because that should be soon-ish. But yeah, no.
I wonder if we'll see it before Christmas or if it'll be after next international break. Back injuries can be really...
Yeah.
You just got to be so careful, haven't you? It's such a hard one to call.
Any injury can be
Well, as we've seen with Miedemar this week, having to go through another operation.
Sam Kerr as well. Her ACL's not been plain sailing either.
No, I think we just look at Jill Rhodes and how quick hers was, and I was like, oh, magic. Some magic's going on at Man City. But yeah, it'll be because we're not missing anyone else, are we? Apart from Rachel Corsi's still out. But yeah, we haven't had any other new injury reports, which is quite nice. So we'll keep it that way. Keep everything crossed. Touch wood. No one's going to get injured. For that.
I'm just glad Lucy Parker made it back from an international without an injury.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So we can be very annoyed. Completely justified that she didn't get any minutes, but she also didn't get injured. So we'll take that.
It was the perfect opportunity. You've got a Birmingham-based player. You're playing in Coventry.
Yeah.
All her friends and family could have come.
And tactically, technically, she would have made a difference.
England debut. It just would have been, would
have been perfect. In fact, I think we should organise the next one.
Maybe she's going to make her debut at Wembley versus the Olympic champions. Manifesting it.
100%. Yeah, everyone get repeating it now. Repeating the mantra now. Lucy Parker will make her debut at Wembley against the USA. Can you imagine? That'd be great. That would be great. Lucy versus Sophia Smith. I mean, hey, I'd go and watch it for that reason. Right then, I think that might be it. Tracy, did you want to say anything about the fundraiser before the game?
Oh, yeah. So we've got a Aston Villa Women's training shirt that has been signed by the whole squad. On offer. Julie, one of our committee members, is holding a bonus ball competition. So you've literally got to choose a number between 1 and 59. There's quite a few that have already been taken. I think half of the numbers have already gone. It's £10 number. And you could win an Aston Villa Women training top that has been signed by the whole team. It's been donated by Aston Villa. So it's not one that's been signed at the pitch side by, random fans getting a t-shirt signed. It's actually been donated by Lee Billiard from Aston Villa. So yeah, if anybody would like to have a go, have a look on the Facebook page, message either myself or Julie Abbott and choose a number between 1 and 59. There's a list of the numbers that's being constantly updated, so you'll know which numbers are still available on there as well.
What is the fundraiser for, Tracy? Sorry.
Oh, yes, sorry. Very important. The fundraiser, it's all going into my pocket. No, it's not. No, it's not. Everything basically that we fundraise for, if it isn't for charity, within Aston Villa Women Fan Club is for the away travel fund. So it basically just reduces the cost of away travel for fans for Aston Villa Women away games. And so far this season, we've managed to be cheaper than the Villa. It isn't a competition, but basically just trying to make it more accessible for people to go to games. So yeah, everything, all the profits go to the away travel fund.
Perfect. And it was so perfect, Sophie couldn't handle it and our camera just went, nope.
And actually, can I just point out as well that Aston Villa donated the shirt, knowing that what we are trying to do is reduce the cost of away travel, and that is the reason why. Funnily enough, it was from this podcast. The head of women's football was watching this podcast a few episodes ago, heard us talking about the fundraising weekend that we had going at the Aston Inn at that time. And he contacted me and said, would you like a shirt or two? There might be another one coming up very soon. To help with the fundraising, to help reduce the cost of away travel, because obviously they appreciate the fact that we're trying to do that. More bums on seats, it's great, isn't it? Yeah, and that's the aim.
That's what we want. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I also wouldn't mind a signed shirt just to hang behind me. So if anyone is watching, another one.
You've got to be in it to win it, Freya.
You've
got to be in it to win it.
I'll take 5 numbers. No, I was talking to Sophie before, and I was like, I still need to get my corner done, my podcast corner done. So I've got some bits and pieces to go up. So that will be done shortly. I won't have a cream wall anymore. It's going to be great.
I think you need a neon light and everything as well, Freya.
I do, don't I?
Yeah, Freya writes.
So mad.
Neon lights.
Yeah, just like a proper New York Broadway. That's.
I was on an online bat seminar yesterday. The exciting life of things I do. Freya loves.
I love it. I was like, oh my god, you all just as bats. It was great.
The guy presenting it had a light box behind him with like a graphic of like a scene with a bat in it that like his friend that was a graphic designer had done, and it looked really cool. So you should get like a Villa light box. Like,
totally do that.
I've seen them advertised. They look really cool.
Hey, watch the space. I'm now going to have just like cabinets behind us full of stuff, like, and I won't be able to move for all of it. I'll just live here now. This is me. This is my life. This is it. In my happy corner. Right then, I think that might be it. Is there anything else anyone would like to mention before we go?
I was just going to say it popped up on my 1 year ago business on my social medias earlier that so a year ago when we played Belgium, England, I feel like we have to rotate at some point. This was last year, and of the lineup that I was quoting for that Belgium game, we finished the South Africa game with 9 of the 11 same players. The 2 that weren't there being Niamh Charles, who's injured, and Kira Walsh, who was on the bench, and instead we played Ella Toon, who was a sub in that Belgium game. So,
wow,
yeah,
so
that's
yeah,
and that sums it up really.
Yeah, other teams are evolving, and we've got some cracking players, but we're not evolving the shape, the style, anything. It's literally just the same that it has been for since the Euros. I was actually watching when YouTube autoplays things, and it was from the Lionesses. Was it Inside the Pride or whatever they did, that documentary after the Euros? And I think it was either Millie or Lucy said, we're playing this new exciting game, and we're playing this exciting football that we really love doing, and it's all new and it's all. I was like, oh,
those are the days.
Changed. But yeah, and you just think like, oh, that was like the moment, like, and just reinvent yourself every couple of years. Singers do it all the time. Why can't footballers? Why can't managers? So hopefully we get some players shuffling around soon. Because we're too predictable, we're too stale. But incredible players. And just
I did see a meme about it being like the Euros in like 2050 and Serena still playing Stanway, Toon and Walsh in midfield.
I can imagine it. I can completely imagine it. It's just, yeah.
Has anyone got any score predictions for Sunday?
15-0 to the Villa. Yes.
15-0. Anna Patten gets 10 of them. Yeah.
I really want Anna Patten to get a goal. She spends enough time in the opposition box.
She does. In fact, that's what will manifest. Just a Patten goal at some point. That's what they do.
Patten, Missy Bow.
Missy Bow, get him on. Again, it's who turns up, Emma. For want of a better one. I think it'll be something daft like 2-1. Don't know which way, but
oh, that's such a safe score. That is. Everyone says
2-1. I know it's rubbish, isn't it? Okay, fine.
Not Man City.
5-3. There you go.
5-3. Yeah, that's better.
5-3.
Villa. Villa. Yeah.
Right, so I'm going 5-3. Sophie.
I was about to say it's going to be a 4-3 chaotic Villa thriller.
Yes, 4-3 chaos. Emma, what are you thinking?
Villa at the Villa.
If we play Leicester, then it'll be 1-1, I think. However, I was going to go 4-3, 4-2. One of those.
4-3, 4-2.
I like 4-2.
We'll get a goal overturned and get a kickback out. Gary's gone 3-1. Emily, what was yours?
I'm going to go 2-0.
Ooh,
I reckon
nice.
we can keep a clean sheet.
That'd be nice.
Dramatic clean sheet. Okay. Yeah, 2-0. That's probably the more sensible. At least we've got one sensible prediction.
If we tot up everyone that was saying, well, they need to score. Missy Poe's on a hat trick. Patsy's got to score several. We could go 5-0. Let's go 5-0.
5-0? Yeah. I think we should. And the stadium will erupt as everyone shouts all aboard before the match. Can you imagine Robert Tapau's face when we do go 10-0 up? Like, it's gonna be great. I can see it. Manifest it all happening.
Just one time that Emma's chips are getting cold.
Why have you got chip? Why have I missed that? What was I reading?
She had a delivery halfway through the podcast. And they've been behind her, and she's been dipping into them like for the last 10 minutes.
Is that where you've been going? I saw you bored.
Sorry, Emma.
Just checking her map. Hang on. Who we're playing again? Where's the right? She would let you go.
This is why she thought we were playing Leicester. She was too interested in eating her chips. All she could think of was chips.
Typical Emma. Food always comes first. No.
Food over Leicester.
Right, go on then. 3-1 Leicester. I love that. And on that fantastic note, shall we leave it there? Now, thank you so much to everyone watching, listening. We do really appreciate it. If you haven't already, you can like, follow, share, subscribe, love, etc. all across social media. We are part of the Pride Pod on Instagram, and you'll see a little graphic in a moment. And we are part Pride Pod on Twitter as well. You can also catch up with the whole 115 yards and the Aston Villa Women Fan Club for more details, especially about the fundraiser that Tracy mentioned earlier. So thank you very much to everyone. Again, thank you to everyone in the chat as well. We will be back next Thursday at 8 o'clock, live discussing our match against Leicester. And we will hopefully be bringing back all 10 million points that we...
And good luck to the under-17s.
And good luck to the under-17s who are playing at 11 o'clock in an hour. Oh, God, it's 10 o'clock. So keep watching FIFA Plus, and they do need our support against Spain. So good luck to those. But thank you very much to everyone. Thank you. Good evening and good night. Goodbye.
Bye.